Hi YouTube, this is Rose. I don't know how well you can hear me. I know you can't see me. I'm driving. I'm going to that unknown destination. I thought I'd tell you a story on my trip. I hope you can hear me okay. Let me see. Maybe I can unplug this and get it closer. Can you hear me now? Well, I was looking over the comments of everybody that commented on my last video, trying to guess where I'm going. Nobody got it yet, but we did have one lady. She picked her home state, and she was pretty close, but it wasn't right. So here's a clue. I'm headed up 75 north, and at some point I'm gonna veer off onto 40, and then I'll head to where I'm going, and I'll let you know. But I thought I'd tell you a story. I don't know how well you can see me. I'm like playing with my phone. Can you see me at all? Nope, probably not. But that's okay. I got a story to tell you. You can listen to it while you're doing your dishes or while you're relaxing. Whatever you're doing. Maybe you're getting ready to go to bed. It's dark here. It's 10:17 Eastern Time PM. So it's nighttime. I'm in the truck. I'm still driving on 75 north. I'm still in Florida, but I'm headed out of state. But here's my story. I used to transport inmates. And when I transported inmates, I went all over the U.S. Sometimes I would fly back and forth to Puerto Rico, pick up inmates and bring them back. Prisoners. I loved my job. That was a fantastic job. I got to meet a lot of people. They were really decent. I had very polite inmates. I never had no issues. They always told me lots of stories. I had a lot of fun. I had this one time I was in Miami-Dade, and the other guard on duty with me, his name was George. So George, if you're out there, this is me saying hi. I'm telling our story. And we're leaving out of Miami-Dade, and we get a call that we need to go to Connecticut. And they said, the thing is we had to pick up within 24 hours. And now that's a long drive to Connecticut. That means no stops, I told him, I said, well, George, you start out driving. I'll try and, catch a little bit of sleep in the side. And then wake me up when you get tired, I'll be good. I'll jump over in the driver's seat. I said, no matter how tired you are, just make sure you get me up and pull over, and I'll take it from there. So I fall asleep, and at the time I was wearing a coat. With my uniform on, I had my uniform coat. They have the zippers on the side so that your gun can stick through out of your duty belt. You can just imagine, I looked like a police officer, even though I wasn't. I was just a guard, an armed guard, transporting inmates. But he starts out driving. I fell asleep. And we got to somewhere around South Carolina. I'm not quite sure of where we were at the point. We were on 95 north going at that point. And I hear this, Rose. And I was like, oh, he must be tired. So I sit up, and he's like pulling over really, really fast. He was really, I thought, in my brain, I was thinking, wow, he must really be tired. So as soon as he got the van to the stop, I undid my seatbelt, and I jumped out of the vehicle, and I'm trying to get this coat off. And this coat, that had the zippers on the side so that my gun could be easily accessible, got stuck on my gun holster, and I'm wrestling with my coat trying to get it off. I'm really hot at this point, and my brain, I'm still tired, so my brain's all groggy, and he's still sitting in the van with the inmates in the back. I think we had 3 inmates that we picked up in Miami-Dade. So they're in the back. They're in their little cages with their belly chains and their shackles and their handcuffs. And, I think he stopped and got a McDonald's at some point because they all had McDonald's back there. They were probably very happy at that point. But while I'm wrestling with my coat, trying to get it unlatched from my gun holster, I don't know how it got stuck up there in my gun holster. The zipper somehow got caught up on it. I hear this, freeze! And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I jumped around, and there's a police officer, and he's got his hand on his gun. Like his gun's still in the holster, but his hand's right there on top of his gun. And I jumped around. It must have scared me so bad. This is funny. I dove back into the van. I slammed the door shut. And I'm wrestling with the seatbelt, trying to get it on as quick as possible. And George is sitting there in the driver's seat with his elbow on the steering wheel and his hand on his jaw. And he's looking at me. He goes, Rose, what are you doing? And I looked right at him. I said, there's cops out there. It was hilarious. Oh, I was so embarrassed. This cop comes up to my door. He knocks on my window. I put the window down, and he starts laughing. Thank goodness he's seen hilariousness in it, because I was so embarrassed. My face must have been 3 shades of red. Here, George was speeding. You don't speed when you're hauling inmates. That's just a no-no. But because we were such short time, he thought he was going to make as much time as he could, and was doing about 90 miles an hour, and that's why we got pulled over. Problem is I didn't know we were being pulled over. But that's my short little story. Let me tell you, the inmates in the back, their eyes were as big as saucers. They were so scared, and when the police officer let us go, they told me, they said they thought that the guards were wanted by the police. That's how scared they were when they seen my reaction to the police. But it was fun. It was one of those times. You know, when I was out transporting inmates, I was on the road for a couple years. I really did love it. I enjoyed it dramatically. It was just one of those fun times. You know, a lot of crazy stuff happened when I was on the road. I lost a finger. Part of my middle finger on the road one time. I did. Out in Danville, Missouri. Yeah, that's another story another time. But I'll tell it to you sometime. Let me know if you want to hear it. So, I'm just talking because I'm driving along. Right now I got my cruise control on. I don't like to drive with my cruise control on because it really eats up your gas. Let me tell you. Since I put it on, I went down 1/4 of a tank pretty quick. I was really surprised. But I'm keeping an eye on my tax. Every half an hour I look down at my tax to see, make sure my oil's good and my battery's good and my gas gauge is good and my temperature's good. It's holding the same temp. I keep an eye on that stuff. I filled my gas tank up before I left Palmetto, Florida. And I checked my fluids and my air and my tires. And I'm keeping my speed. I'm keeping it between 74 and 76. You always want to keep the same speed, and you don't want to speed. I'll tell you why. Because your tires will heat up. And when they heat up when you speed, they expand. And when they expand, it causes blowouts. You don't want to be driving along the road going 80, 90 miles an hour and have a blowout. So, I hope you could hear me okay being in the vehicle. And I know it's dark. I know you can't see me. But I'm going to keep giving you clues to where I'm going. I hope you put in the comments where you think I'm going. And give me your little tidbits or your little stories in the comments. I'd like to read them. That's one of my favorite things to do is reading the comments. I always try to comment back. It might be a little hard now that I'm driving right now. I won't be able to read the comments till I pick my next rest stop. I haven't stopped yet. I've been driving straight for about 3.5 hours. I'm hoping to get up around northern Florida somewhere, before I make a pit stop, get some gas, some petrol. I gotta get some go-go juice. Gotta have the coffee. I've been eating hard candy. You know, the hard candy keeps you from drinking fluids. And that makes it nice so you don't have to stop as often. I don't want to get a soda or nothing. That stuff makes me really have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to be stopping every 10 minutes, so. But I'm just cruising along. I'd like to hear your stories. Make sure you put in the comments for me. Well, this is Rose, over and out. You know, Rose McConnell from Pertaining to Rose. If you haven't seen my older videos, go back and watch them. I really appreciate you coming on and listening to my stories. Down the road here, I might just tell another story. Maybe I'll tell that story about me losing my finger. I don't know. I haven't decided. I got a lot of stories from when I was on the road. But I just wanted to have somebody to talk to, and I hope you're all out there listening. Well, you all have a fantastic night, and watch for the next video, because I'm going to be giving out clues as I go. I got my trip. I got a good 17 hours of driving left to go, maybe 16. I might be at that 16-hour point. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at it. But I'll give you a holler and let you all know that I'm safe and sound and still driving along. Okay, you guys have a really good night, and praise the Lord that everybody's kept safe, and we'll see you. Like I said, say hi to me. When I get to my rest stop, I'm going to read whatever comments I got. I'll try to answer them back. So, I love you all. I miss you all. I'm going to be back here in the game as soon as I get to my destination. Wait till you see what I got going on. You guys are going to love the new content. Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye.